Welcome to the Thursday morning hangout. Feeding some starter, making a breakfast sandwich, freezing some waffles. That's what's going on. If anybody out there wants to hit the like button if you can hear or see me, okay? I'd really appreciate it. I would really appreciate it. There we go. All right, 30 seconds in. Get connected to the chat. It is an absolutely miserable day, but it's trick or treat, so I figured I'd do a trick or treat hangout this morning. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to feed this starter here in just 1 second. And get going. I don't know what happened to my music just quit. Alright. Anyway, there's the music back on. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's feed the starter. Get going. I've got everything else done. Little sleeves rolled up. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to feed this starter and get that going because I'm going to make bagels tomorrow, sourdough bagels. So I want to have my starter, and I got to feed that starter too. So I'm going to get another one going in that jar, and I'm going to feed this one. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Turn this on. I'm going to need to start that over again. There we go. I need that zeroed out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put 30 grams of starter into here. I want to get one of my implements of destruction going. I'm going to get 30 grams into there. There we go. 30 grams of that. And then I'm going to do 30 grams of water into there. Get you guys in here just a little bit closer. There we go. So you can see a little better of what I'm doing. Then I'm going to do 30 grams of water. Filtered water. You always got to do filtered water. That times out if I don't work quickly. There we go. Okay. And then I need 30 grams of flour. There we go. 35, because I think I put 35 of the water in there. So even that out. What are you making? Ray, Zay, I am making sourdough starter right now because I'm making bagels tomorrow. You always got to do, it's generally better if you do your sourdough a day ahead of time so you have that and then you got all this other stuff. I'm just kind of hanging out. We're going to talk about tonight's live stream that I usually do at 8 p.m. and just kind of hanging out. I'm going to make some breakfast. I'm going to heat up my pans. And probably going to make some waffles. I'm probably going to do some waffles. I've already got that done, but I'm just going to get them ready for the freezer. And then you just want to mix that up. You want your sourdough starter. A lot of times people make a mistake with sourdough starter and they make it really thin. You want your sourdough starter to be really thick. Like so. Make sure you get all the stuff off the sides. And this is a new jar. So I'm making this one, and then I'm gonna feed my other one. So that's what I'm doing. So I've got that starter. That starter's made. And I just use my starter, unfed starter from that I always have. And that's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna make, this jar is getting kind of gross. So I'm going to, I'm gonna get a new jar out and a new lid out. I'm gonna measure this, and then I'm just gonna match it kind of. I'm gonna do another starter at 60 grams. I'm gonna do a 60 gram starter, which would be 60 grams of starter, hopefully, if I have that much starter in there. 60 grams flour, 60 grams water. That's how that'll work out. Let me grab down another jar, and we'll go from there with that. Turn that back on. And then go to 60 grams with this. If I have 60, I should have 60 in here, at least. And then the rest of it I'll just throw away. 55, 60, there we go. Cool. Yeah, I don't have much left. And I could use that to make another starter, but I don't want to. So then we'll throw 60 grams of water in there. So we do up to 120. Filtered water. There we go, 120 of that. And then another, so we go to 180 with the flour, and then we're done with that part. We'll start making some breakfast. We're making waffles, one or the other. Oh, shoot. That's about 5 grams. So we'll do 55 grams of flour. That's about 10, so we'll do another 50. There we go, that should do something. And 35, 40, 50. All right, cool. So we're done with that, essentially. Put back on the flour. You go from there. So let's see if there's. There we go. And mix that up. Once again, making it thick. Make that pretty thick. There we go. And it's a dreary day out. It's like 45 degrees. It's been raining all morning. I did go out and I went out and picked out some stuff out of the garden. The last of it. Because Saturday I'll be pulling, Sunday I will be pulling everything out of the garden. And getting rid of it. Because it's November, every year on November 1st I pull everything out of the garden. There we go. That mixed around, and that should take off nicely. So then I should have, because I need a total of 100 grams of starter for the bagels that I'm making tomorrow, and that should all activate really well by then. There we go. There we go. Nice. That's it for that. Glenn Campbell, what's up, buddy? How are you this morning? Good to see you. I'm just doing a hangout, just talking about tonight's live stream. Feeding my sourdough for some bagels tomorrow. And that line to back up on there. And that's what we're doing. We're just kind of hanging out this morning. While I'm going to use up all that waffle batter that I made on Sunday. And I'm going to freeze those. I'm going to make a breakfast sandwich. Make something for breakfast. Some bacon, egg. Some bacon and egg. sandwich. And then, yeah, it's just a hangout. It's just a hangout. You're working like a dog? Stop doing that. Ew, Pete. I hate to hear news like that. What are you on your break or something? They're giving you a few minutes to get yourself together. Go in for round 2, round 3. I'm gonna wash my hands, get some of that stuff off of me. There we go. Yeah, working like a dog. That's terrible news. I feel for you, brother. Okay. So that's done. So that's a 60. That's what I call the 3/6s. 360s. You got 60 grams of starter, 60 grams of filtered water, and 60 grams of flour, unbleached flour. And then these are done. And I can set those off to the side. And hopefully they'll be done. They'll be at full peak tomorrow morning or tonight, one or the other. And I can at least do, what are we making? Mama Nova. I just did some sourdough. I just fed my sourdough and changed my jars over. And then I'm gonna make some waffles. I'm gonna use up all that dough or all that batter that we used on Sunday to make all these waffles up so I can put them in the freezer, and I'm gonna make a breakfast sandwich. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Nothing fancy, just talking about tonight's live stream. Letting everybody know to subscribe, because tonight will probably be a subscriber mode. Yeah, order top messages. Okay. Yeah, I'm just messing around with some settings today, and maybe do a subscriber only video tonight. But yeah, that's just what we're doing. What are you doing today? Anything good? Isabel Whitey, Whitney, how are you? I've never seen it done before. In a jar. I love this quick idea. I'm going to go back so I can watch what you did. Oh, okay, yeah. I make sourdough fairly easy. I've got about that much left over. I could make another sourdough starter, but I have tons of discard already. I've got about a pint jar of discard in there, so I'm not going to save this. I'm going to eventually just throw this in the trash. But I'm going to get the waffle iron out, and I'm going to move all my stuff out the way for now. Get rid of my tomatoes. I got those tomatoes. I'm going to throw them in a paper sack, and hopefully, hope the rest of them the big ones turn red, or in those cases, those are Cherokee purples. So I hope they turn purple. So I'll set that off to the side. I don't need that anymore. And we'll get our burner out to do waffles. We'll start heating that up. Okay, I'll finish watching you. Then I'll first go. Then I'll go back. You're right. Got Roger that. I got you. Sounds like a plan. Let me get my portable stove. Because I like doing. I have electric stove, but I like using the waffle maker on a gas. So we'll do that. Oh, another piece that was on there. I usually like to make sure that's clean before I put it away. We'll get you over there. But yeah, I'm just going to make these waffles up, and then I'm going to throw them in the freezer bag, so I have them for later, and I don't want that dough to go, bad. Make sure I got enough. Yeah, I should have enough gas in there to get that started, that heated up. You always want to turn, when you start heating your cast iron up, if you're new to cast iron, you always want to warm it up slowly as to not crack it. And you don't need a high heat for virtually anything with cast iron. You just need to have it just real low. That's all you need. That's all you need. So we got that one. We used the old Waffle iron today. made from about 1903 to about 1926. They made these. This one was beautifully restored by my friend Artie Bliss, who also has a channel called Cast Iron Adoption. Kind of a nice little channel that he does and has some great tips. Shows you how to make E-tanks and shows you how to restore your cast iron. So if you haven't already subscribed to Cast Iron Adoption, go ahead and do that. Because Artie has a great channel. But yeah, I'm just going to get my spray out so we can spray this at some point. And we're just going to make some waffles. That heat up. And I'm going to make breakfast too. So I am going pretty slow this morning. Yesterday was beer and taco night, and so still need that money. I got to install flooring. I have the place to myself. Oh, I gotcha. I hear you, man. I hear you. That just sort of warm up and all that. Yeah. But yeah, these old waffle makers, if you can get one, they are pretty tough to restore just because of all the little nooks and crannies on the inside, but overall, they're definitely worth having. That's for sure. I love this one. And I'd like to find, I'm looking for the Wagner style. The two-sided models. The two-sided model of this particular thing. So I can make more than one at a time. Mercy B, how are you this morning? Good to see you. I'm just going to use up these waffles, the waffles that we made the other day, and sort of talk about let everybody know about tonight's little get-together. And it's trick or treat today for just about everybody in North America anyway. Tonight's the night. We already did our trick or treat here in town, but I know a lot of people's is tonight to get ready for. Which I was thinking about this today. I was like, why isn't school half a day on trick or treat? You know, you just go in, kind of a blow off day, show off your costume. And then you break out about noon, have a really good lunch, like some hamburgers or, something not sweet, and have a big old lunch, and then go out and be ready to trick or treat. I think I think people start doing it about 5 o'clock, like 5 to 7 seems to be the general time that everybody does that. And yeah, it's a little earlier. I think. When I was a kid, I remember it being done at like 7:30, and then watching Charlie Brown. Everybody watched Charlie Brown as little kids, not teenagers. As a teenager, I was busy soaping windows, toilet papering people's houses like a regular kid. It's generally what I did. Was anybody else a window soaper besides me, or was I the only bad kid that was out there? Let's see, turn that over, get this sort of heated up. Both sides. Yeah, that's going nice. We can get some steam in there. There we go. Yeah, that's not doing too bad. Halloween is tomorrow here. Yeah. Oh, you're doing it. They do it on the. A lot of times, for whatever reason, it seems they always do it on Thursdays. But, I'm all about doing it on the day, no matter what day it is. On the 31st, boom, there's your trick or treat. But it seems like where I'm at, it seems that Thursday is sort of the day to trick or treat. Let me get one of my little. Get a measuring cup out so I can fill these measuring cups up. It makes it a little easier to pour into there. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna remix this up as well. There we go. I don't know if you guys probably can't see what I'm doing. as I did it and didn't think about what I was doing. But I'm just over here putting this back together. There's the batter right there. Off to the side. I'm just gonna get that going through. And that was sourdough as well. Did a discard, so it's got kind of that sort of sourdough look to it. A little bit of pumpkin spice in there. I might have one of these, I don't know. Pretty waffle. I'm sort of waffled out actually. I had a lot of waffles on Sunday. Please give a like. Yeah, please do give a like. That'd be nice. It's sort of in the deficit, but I didn't expect a huge amount of folks because this is just a pop-up video to talk about tonight's stream at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're making some stuff, making some goodies. Something delicious. There we go. Yep. Just seeing who all's in. All right. Set that off to the side. Set my spoon over somewhere. There we go. Okay. This should be about up to snuff here. We get a plate out while I'm thinking about it. Put the waffles on. There we go. And my waffle spoon, in case I need it. Here we go. I think these should be, turn up the heat just a little bit and flip it over. The first one will probably be burnt, I would imagine. I would imagine so. If that's feeling pretty, do the water test and see if it's sizzling. If it's sizzling, then we're sizzling. And we are sizzling with it. Yep, that's good enough for me. Just put a little spray on there. I'm not gonna trust it to sit like I did the other day. Quick spray. Maybe we can get away from the curse of the first waffle. I don't know if we can or not. Michael Rawlings, HP, good morning, afternoon, how are you? Yeah, it's still morning here. It's about, what, 10? It's almost 11. Like I said, yesterday was beer and taco day, so I got up early, but just now starting to get I went out and played in the garden in the rain, kind of picking out what I could kind of pick out, because like I said, Saturday morning, I'm getting rid of the garden. The garden's getting pulled. So, awesome, same here. Yeah, it's a crappy day. It's like 45 degrees. It's really windy. It's really rainy. And lots of leaves. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It's fall, so what do? You complain about it, but not going to do you any good to complain about it. It's going to get here one way or the other. I'd rather have the rain than the snow anyway. Either way. Let's say, there we go. Flip that over. Finally sunny here in North Carolina. Did you get any of the hurricane? Did that make it to you yet? The Hurricane Melissa, I think that it is. I'm in the Great Lakes region, so the hurricane, what hits us as hurricane is generally either storms, high wind. That's about all we get. Good morning, Los. Good morning, how are you? Los Vikes. One or the other. But good morning either way. I usually butcher everybody's name, so I'm always butchering everybody's name all the time. That's kind of the the allure of the channel, is me butchering everybody's name. Check this out, see where we're at. Well, that's not bad for the first one. I'll take that. It smells really good. Got that nice pumpkin spice. And for anybody who was wondering, these are pumpkin spice sourdough waffles. That one side can use a little bit of time, so we're gonna give that another, we'll give that another minute. Let it catch up. Let's see, the past few days have been windy and rainy, yeah. But yeah, I didn't know if that made landfall in the U.S. or not. Yeah, we'll be using. I'll be using the skull cast iron a lot here in the next day or two. I might actually have to break. I've got two of them. Now one is for my. I got one for my one of my daughters, and she just moved into a new house, so she's still like getting stuff, but I do have two of them, so I might actually be using both. So I'm hoping that I'm actually hoping that I can use both of them, because I bought a bunch of them when they first came out, because I didn't know how long they'd be around, and I gave them all. Got one for my kids and one for a friend, and then. And of course one for me. And give that a, yeah, I think that's all right. I think that'll be plenty where that's at. There we go. Get some tongs, pull that off of there. Oh, and kick the camera. It's not the show. It's not this live stream if I don't kick that camera at least one time. Yeah, that came out all right. There we go. Nice steamy waffle. Put another one down. Back over there. Maybe a little bit more in there. Maybe just a smidge more. There we go. Maybe get that one to fill out. There we go. All right. Thank you, Mercy B. It smells great. They really do smell good. But like I said, I'm really just doing these so I can put them in the freezer bags and with the other ones, and then have like an Eggo style waffle at some point. That's kind of the goal. So I'm filling it's freezer filling season right now. So everything that I have, anything extra, if I can make it in bulk, then I throw it all in the freezer. That's kind of what I'm doing tomorrow or Saturday, depending on how long it takes for the starter to set up and the bulk fermentation for the bagels. Because I'm just gonna make like a dozen or two at one time. Yeah. So that's just all of what I do this time of year, is just put as much stuff into the freezer. I've still got herbs and stuff out dry, herbs and chilies drying in the garage, which that was I had to move all that stuff yesterday. Yesterday was Exterminator, the yearly day the Exterminator comes in and baits everything around the house. So, because it's harvest season here, and that's when you get a lot of mice and stuff like that can get in. They'll find a way to get in your house. So what I usually bring the Exterminator in right around the 1st of November, and have them come in and go into the crawl spaces and into the attics and do all that stuff. Yeah. So I had to move all my herb, and I actually forgot that I had it scheduled to do. And so I had to move all because I had a drying line. I got a drying line out in the garage that the herbs are hanging on, drying up. So I had to take that down and move all that stuff around yesterday. Yeah, which was lucky I was home. I just happened to be here, and they like knocked on the door, and they were like, "Hey, we're here for the yearly maintenance," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, nice." And I didn't really think about it because I usually put like at the end of summer, I put traps in the behind stuff in the garage, and I checked those about a couple days ago, and there's nothing in them. I check them about every day, and there was nothing in them. Usually I'll catch one or two in the garage that try and come in. So like I said, I live in a rural area, and they'll try and come in at least. I'll get one or two that come in through the garage. You know, when you got the garage door open and doing stuff out there and all that, they will attempt to get in and ruin the party. But so far nothing this year. Little pre-maintenance. Check the comment section, see what's going on in there. But yeah, just kind of a chill day, and decided to sort of hang out and cook and get stuff ready for the weekend. It's like that here also. We take down the corn and the hay and the mice. Yeah, they just go nuts. We have a livestock behind us. It's not my livestock, it's somebody else's, but we have livestock back behind us, but you know, but we have farm fields for the next 20 miles, and this year around me is corn and soybeans, and they like anything, but corn, it seems like corn and soybeans really draws them in. So you'd think it was, wheat's like that. Wheat usually draws rats, not mice. Rats generally tend to like the wheat, and the mice usually come in when but it's like I said, so far nothing, and I've got, 4 or 5 traps out there with the obligatory peanut butter on there. And I haven't seen anything yet, but either way, fall in the country, you know what I mean? It's the way it is. When I was a kid, we had barn cats. And I did go down yesterday. I have neighbors that have a cat that he kind of runs the neighborhood, and he has a collar on and stuff. And so I told them they might want to, because what the mice do is they've got it kind of figured out to where they'll eat the bait that's put out for them, like under the crawl spaces and stuff, and then then they want to go outside, like they want to go get water from outside. So then all the mice go outside, and so I didn't want their cat. The cat doesn't bother me, so cat doesn't bother me too much. It's actually pretty cool. He just kind of comes up, but he does come up and hang out and look in my patio door to see what I'm doing, and I don't want him to catch a mouse that's, I'm not trying to taint his toys. I don't think he's definitely not underfed. He kind of reminds me of Garfield. He kind of looks, you know what I mean? He's sort of that striped, and he's fluffy. And but I don't want him to I don't want to get one of his toys. I don't want to have his toys make him sick. That one's nice and crispy. I'm gonna let that other side crisp up. But yeah, so I let them know to keep him inside for the next couple weeks, because if there's any in there running around. Let's see, I'm originally from Maryland, so we didn't have lots of mice or rats. Yeah, but you live like in the city in Maryland, because I never had. I'll tell you what, when I lived in bigger cities, which has been a long time ago, that's when I had more rodents than I ever did living in the country. If you had a raccoon or whatever, I get stuff like every once in a while I get a raccoon that kind of rattles my trash cans or something or whatever. But when I lived in the city, I mean, it was insane the amount of pests that ran around. All kinds of stuff. Rats and you know, just all kinds of stuff that I never see. The only time I ever saw rats growing up, like in the country, was like when we would start the combines and stuff, and the rats would jump out of the combines because they'd been in there doing rat stuff all winter. But that was the only time I ever saw rats. Mice, I saw mice in the country, but not very often. They didn't really, and we had cats. We had tons of barn cats. Seemed like we had a plethora of barn cats running around all the time. Every time you turn around, there was another one. There we go. I'm gonna add a little bit more in there. So we didn't have that, you know, every once in a while. But yeah, when I lived in the city, it just seemed like, geez, with Pete. Yes, Annapolis. Oh, okay. Next to the Naval Academy. I gotcha. I was just watching a lady that was doing a walk around down there. She was doing a live stream on YouTube, and she was walking around that area. It was really interesting, actually. I mean, she was walking around outside the naval base, and then she did and she cut her stream and then went to, I think it was downtown Baltimore, and then she went through the city center and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty neat. Yeah, it was really cool. And then she was there at the Potomac. They're like the kind of, I guess, the bay part of it. But yeah, it was actually really interesting. I like watching stuff like that when they just go somewhere that I've never been. Because I've been to Washington, D.C. a couple times, but it was always for work. So, you know, I never got to do the touristy stuff. I think we went in high school. We went in high school and went to Washington, D.C., but it was, you know, you went to the stuff, you went to like the Smithsonian, but you really didn't get to look at anything. You know, everybody just kind of shuffled you through, and that was about the extent of it. Driving for 8 hours watching. Hey, GH, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. I'm making the rest of these waffles for the freezer, and then I'm going to make some breakfast, and that's going to be about it. We're just kind of reminding everybody tonight's stream for the trick or treat stream will be at 8 o'clock tonight and Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully everybody that's watching today can come in and maybe grab a couple new folks to come in. Yeah, it was a huge waste. I mean, it wasn't a waste of time, but I mean, you just didn't get to do like anything cool. You know what I mean? You went and saw like the stuff. You went to like Lincoln Memorial, and you went to different things like that, but you didn't, I forgot to hit the timer. But you didn't get to really like get the feel for it, you know? And then I went a couple times for work, and that was really just, you know, I'd work to start working at 7 in the morning and then get done about 5, and, you know, you just usually I just kind of sort of hung out. But, yeah, that needs a little bit longer. I'm going to throw the timer on that. But, yeah, I mean, and that was a place, I remember going there and realizing that you couldn't buy beer anywhere but from a liquor store. Like, I went into a 7-Eleven and went to go grab a sixer, and they were like, I was like, where's your beer section? And they're like, we don't have a beer section. You got to go to the liquor store and buy beer or anything with alcohol, and you have to go to the liquor store and get it. And you better get there. And the guy was like, you better get there quick because it shuts down. Because I was used, like here, I can buy beer at a gas station until 1 o'clock in the morning. So as long as you beat it by, as long as you're there by, either the time that place closes or 1 o'clock. And then and the bars can always sell till 2 or 2:30. So yeah, that's where I learned about that. I need to turn that heat up. I think I bumped that heat, and it just sort of didn't do me any favors. That timer again. I'll go another minute. We'll check it at 30 seconds. See how that does. Here as well, Yeah, Michael Rawlings, remind me, what state are you in? You're saying probably buying the alcohol is the same there? Yeah. And then like if I can like if you go into Indiana, every once in a while I'll go to Indiana, and I go to Indiana, and then there, see, like I can buy beer and wine, that kind of stuff, or that kind of stuff at, say, the grocery store. And some Krogers have a liquor, like a hard liquor license. There's like a state liquor store in there. But like if you go to Indiana, you can go and you can get 80 proof and on up at Walmart. They have like their liquor store. That's like really, like a huge difference there in how they sell alcohol. Which I got no problem with. Because there was like a, yeah, you could go in there and, because I used to set up at a festival in Indiana every year in about, I think it was usually in August or early September. And that was, yeah, we could get you could stop at the Walmart, like right out in that outside of that little town, and you could get everything you needed. You didn't have to go like to a liquor store and then anything like food and stuff. You could just all get it at like or whatever their grocery store was there. I forget what it was. But they definitely had liquor at a Walmart there. And you can get some like stuff like we have what you call grocery store liquor, which is like usually like the liquor store is 80 proof and up or 70 proof and up, and you can like here you can buy what we call grocery store liquor, which is like half proof, so it's like 20 proof or 40 proof instead of 80. So we don't, yeah. It's just it's not nearly the same as what they have at the liquor store. I'm gonna give that about 30. I'm gonna go 30 seconds on each side. Yeah, I turned that. I must have hit that. The burner. Let's see. Our Lowe's food here in North Carolina, they have a beer bar and you can drink a pint while you shop. Yeah, you can do that here too. You can do that at Kroger. They have wine bars, and you can have wine or like a craft, like something, whatever they can get on a tap. They don't have, it's not like a bar, not like going to a bar, but they'll have like five like different kinds of, beer, and then you can try wine and sample wine while you're walking around. It's not all, but some you can do that. You can get about, and I like to go sometimes when I go out of town and shop. There's one that I like to go to because they have like the big, like a humongous cheese section too. So you can kind of have wine and cheese. You can go get samples, get a little bowl of samples, and then go get a glass of wine or a beer and just kind of sit around and have, it's kind of like you're snacking while you're shopping. That doesn't look too bad. Let's check the other side and see how it's doing. Yeah, for some reason these sourdough ones don't get very crisp. Yeah, it's kind of nice to have snacks at the grocery store, which is instead of like having fruit snacks, you can have some good cheese and a little bit of wine. That came out all right. That came out pretty good. I'll take that. But yeah, these sourdough ones are real soft for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I'll have to read into that because I thought if I left them, and it doesn't help to leave them on longer, they'll just be burnt and soft. I don't know what the big difference is on these, but there is. Run out of this batter. And glad I used it up though. I hate throwing stuff away. And I know sometime in January when I don't feel like going anywhere that it's going to be nice to have some waffles in the And some decent, and some good waffles too. Not some, there's like 5 ingredients in those waffles altogether. Instead of getting waffles from the store that are, who knows what's in them. It could be anything. Yeah, I'm checking the comment section. I got a message held for review. Ooh. Let me see if I can actually hit these messages and look at them. Let's see. Run out the road safe. Yeah, I don't know why that one was held for review. Michael, there wasn't anything wrong with that. Nothing at all. There's the dog. She's been sitting there looking at she's been sitting there looking outside. She's mad she can't go out and do anything. She was out there hanging out. And no, she wants to go out there, and then when she gets out there, she's like, man, can we come back inside? And she's got her goofy sweater on too. Giving it a stretch, kid? Yeah, I hear you. It's one of those days. It's one of those days, isn't it? Alright, give that a flip. There we go. Go for a minute on that side. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's bummed out. She can't, oh, another moderator handled it. I don't know if my moderators would be taking that down. I don't know why they would. Seems kind of silly. Take that stuff out of there. It was kind of tame. saying I'll see you later. Let's see. Yeah, that's all Michael was saying. It wasn't anything bad. I don't know why it took it down. YouTube has some thin skin, as I've come to realize. They really, they don't, yeah, it's all AI. It's, nobody knows what they're putting up there. Yeah, don't say goodbye to YouTube, boy. They ain't mad. Scotty from H-Town, what's up, buddy? Good morning to you. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Just sitting here enjoying making up these waffles, using up this batter. Reminding everybody about tonight's live stream, which should be pretty fun. I'm actually really looking forward to tonight's stream, to be super honest with you. Let's check that and see how it looks. Yeah, I'm gonna give that another 30 seconds with some real heat in there. I don't know what's going on with that, why they're not. Shouldn't be getting colder, I can tell you that. Yeah, just enjoying this crappy day where it's windy. It's basically England. It's London right now. That's the weather. I always describe the weather as kind of a place. And today is London. Yeah, it's just sort of, without the fog. We haven't had, really now that I think about it, we haven't had a lot of fog this year that I know of. At all. We've had like zero fog. Make sure that that's going. Everybody's on there. Yeah, just making sure my screen wasn't locked up. Sometimes when I do these where I'm in the same spot for a while, they can lock the screen. I'm not sure if the screen's locked up. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me see the other side. I think we might have one more left in there, and then I'm going to make this. See, that side looks really good. That side looks really good. I'm going to see if I can't do that to that side without really burning it. And then we'll be done with the waffle iron. I think there's like one left in there, if there's that, if even that. Okay, flip that over. Yeah. There we go. I'll take it. I'll take that. And where are my tongs? There. But yeah, it's sort of one of those days. It's like a day to take a nap. There, that side came out really nice. That other side just does not want to brown up. It wants to burn. There we go. Anyway, Zap this with a little bit of spray. Flip that over. I'm taking Radagast's advice to heat the one side up, flip it, and then pour. But I don't know how much we're actually going to get out of that. I'm not sure how much we're going to get out of this. This one will be for the beaks. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they can have, I don't know if she can have this. Because it's got all these spices in it. If not, it'll just be for me. She's gonna have bacon here in a minute anyway. She's gonna have bacon, so she doesn't need a waffle. Granny Graham, how are you? Doing well. In the 60s, yeah. I used to, my dad used to live, had relatives that used to live in, they'll still do, lived in League City. So I spent a couple Thanksgivings down there in League City, Texas. And it was kind of, yeah, I mean, it wasn't as cold as it is here, but it was definitely, it was like blustery, I guess you'd say. Not so much cold, but like that. So far we got a little stack of waffles. Those look pretty decent. Oh, there we go. Not very far, closer to the coast. Yeah, yeah. When I would go down there, we would go to the Gulf of America, and fish. And it wasn't. I remember it not being very far to go fishing. We would deep sea fish, I guess, or deep Gulf fish. I don't know if you'd really call it sea if it was right there, but flip that over. But yeah, we would deep Gulf fish, which that was where, that was where I learned another cultural experience going someplace different. Everybody down there fished with shrimp. And then when we went out to dinner after that, we had seafood poncetrain, which was crawfish, which up here, we eat shrimp. Well, I eat shrimp and crawfish, but generally people up here, they eat shrimp and fish with crawfish. Now down there, we fished with shrimp, and then when we ate, we went and ate crawfish. So it was kind of a back and forth. You know what I mean? A little different than what I was used to. Which is cool. I mean, you know, you go to different places and people do things the opposite way, which is always kind of neat. Yeah. And that's where I got to learn how to make seafood poncetrain. I had an aunt that would make seafood poncetrain, and that was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. And she's no longer with us, so I can't ask her how she made it. But I need to learn how to make seafood poncetrain, because that is like one of my all-time, now that I'm talking about it, it makes me really want it. I haven't thought about it in forever, but I would really like to learn how to make seafood poncetrain. That would be a good one. But I've never really tried much on the channel. I've never really tried much Southern, like say Louisiana style cooking and that kind of thing. Because man, you take a beating. Like if you, like, I know when I was on social media, I used to like put stuff up just to say it was gumbo. Like I'd make soup and put it down as gumbo just to have the people from Louisiana lose their mind. It was the funniest thing. Like I'd make vegetable soup and then I'd say it was gumbo, and they would just freak out. And they're like, that's not gumbo. You don't know what gumbo is. All this kind of stuff. It was hilarious. But I would do it all the time, and I would just make like jambalaya. I would say something was jambalaya that wasn't even anything near jambalaya, just to watch them freak out. It was funny. Because people from Louisiana take their food really serious. with some goat milk. Man, I haven't had goat milk in a long time. Poking the Cajun bear. Yeah, exactly. I used to love to do that. One of my all-time favorite things. Or I would post, oh, that looks pretty good. I would post up chili with beans in it, and I would call it Texas chili, just to have the people from Texas just lose their minds over that one. That's always, I think that one's funny too. Is to do that, which I could never figure that out. It was like, it's like cornbread, like sweet cornbread versus savory cornbread, or chili with beans or no beans. Cause like I said, I've been to Texas quite a few times, and every time I went to Texas, everything had beans in it. Like you couldn't get away from beans. If you went somewhere for dinner, it came with at least a side of beans of some kind. And I always thought that was really like, that was kind of a strange deal, because it's like everything down there has beans or beans around it except the chili. And then when I went to, like I had a daughter who used to live, and she went to school down in Chattanooga, and everything down there, like when I would go like to the, you know, barbecue places or whatever, everything down there had sugar in it. The pizza sauce was sweet. The, you know, if you went for Italian, your spaghetti sauce was sweetened with sugar. Everything had sugar in it, except for the cornbread. And then if you talked about sweet cornbread, people just freak out. So I never understood the dichotomy of those two things. Let's see. Been putting red beans in my Texas chili for 12 years. Yeah, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, and why the big like what a huge no-no it is. That's the other thing. That came out pretty good. I like that. I'll take that. I'll take that for a little waffle. And then I'll turn that off. Yeah, I never could get that one, you know. But it is what it is, you know. I'm in the Midwest, which we have people from everywhere. You know, a lot of people it seems like that live here are from Texas or Florida. Like that seems to be the big migration. It's Texas and Florida, or the people, it seems like when people move away from where I live, they move to Texas or Florida. That's where they go. And lately here, Tennessee. A lot of people that have sort of migrated out of here have all went to Tennessee to live. Tennessee's booming. My like I said, even my daughter and her boyfriend, they lived there for about 2 or 3 years. They lived there. They don't anymore, but they did at one point. So I'm gonna move this out of the way, and then I'm gonna make myself something to eat for breakfast. I think I'm just gonna make a pretty simple sandwich. Something with bacon and egg and sourdough bread. So let's move. Watch out, Beagle. Pigs, go. Go, go, go. Hot stuff. Hot stuff coming through. Go on. Watch out. Go, go, go. No burning the beagles. Don't want to burn the beagle. Always, it's never a good thing to do. Don't want any burnt beagles. So move this stuff out of the way. I still have like 3 pumpkins on my table that I brought in here to process everything in. I've got this big folding table to do pumpkins on. And I still have 3 pumpkins. Pretty pumpkined out, honestly. Let's see. The waffle looks so. Oh yeah, Scotty, I thought you said that. Frankie, I didn't realize you were in here, buddy. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't see that. So anyway, let's move over to here. Move over to the cast iron portion of today's stream. Turn these on a little bit. And I'm just using a Wagner number 6 for my bacon, and then a Lodge, my Lodge round griddle that hardly ever leaves my stove. Move that back just a smidge. We'll get those heating up. And I'm going to wipe up this counter real quick because I got waffle batter all over the place. But get that stuff cleaned up. and out of my way. I'm gonna cut some bread. I'm gonna cut into the sourdough bread before I do anything else. I want to get my spot cleaned up. Because the last thing I need is stick my arm in some waffle batter. As delicious as it is, it doesn't taste good off of my. It's not going to taste good off my sleeve. Okay. So let's do that. So come back over this way for a minute. We'll break out that sourdough. Let's see. There we go. Break out our bread. So we can cut that up for, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the toast part of this first. You can wipe that up too. There we go. Another paper towel. I go through so many damn paper towels in the course of the day. I need to buy stock in Viva, if I don't already, one way or the other. Let's see. Diversify, as they say. Let's break out our bread. There we go. There's our sourdough bread we made the other day. That's looking pretty nice. Been waiting to, I would say, tear into that. But the trick to cutting your homemade bread is to flip it over. And if you can do it behind a camera stand while you're cutting it, is even more fun. There you go. And that way it's not so hard to mess around with. That looks pretty good. Take that, put the other half back here in the bag. I'm gonna put that in a paper sack. I usually put them in paper sacks so they don't get moist. But they don't fit in the paper sacks that I have, so I actually cut them down. So there's one into the bag. There's that one. There we go. And then we'll cut up a couple pieces of this bread. Beagle's over here. She's like, man, I know you're cutting that bread. Hook a dog up. There we go. The bread came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how the bread came out. And I make mine, I don't take it to 215. I usually take mine to 195. So it's a little more like a sandwich loaf. It's soft. So that's how I do my sourdough bread. It doesn't have the dramatic look to it that a lot of sourdough does, where it's, you know, real dark brown. But it's a lot less crummy. Doesn't crumb as bad. And it's generally a pretty fun, easier to work with for sandwiches and toast. Because once you do, it's like, I found that if I take my sourdough bread like to 215 or whatever, then you just get so much crumb from it that it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to work out the same. There we go. So we've got that back there in the back. I'll toast up this bread. Buy bread, Beagle. There you go. All right. And we'll throw some bacon down in here too. I think that pan's about ready to do for some bacon in it. That down just a little bit out of the comment section so you guys can see what the heck's going on. Should make a nice bacon and egg sandwich. I don't think I'm going to put anything else on it. I think I'm just going to put bacon and eggs. I'm not feeling very much like cheese. Even though the Beagle is differing. She's saying we definitely need the cheese, but I definitely do not need the cheese. I'm not feeling cheesy this morning. You're on a sourdough rampage. It looks good. All from the same starter. Yeah, all from the same starter. I do want to get some of the Black Death starter. It's like really old. It's I think generally the Black Death starter is like 500 years old. I'd like to try that, which is darker. But yeah, I've just been playing with this. You know, the weather is just finally nice enough to really to do bread, because I started messing with this in June when Jay Justice, one of the viewers here, he sent me his starter, dehydrated starter, and I tell you what, sourdough is kind of frustrating to get started with because of the minutia of it. You know, you just have to get through all that. But then on top of it, I was doing this in June in the Midwest, and so basically what I was making was the biggest gnat traps and the most effective gnat trap you could ever possibly create by making sourdough starter. It had it checked every box to draw every gnat within 20 miles of my house. And so between trying to work with this stuff and get your sourdough starter, it was just like, it was a constant, like, man, there's a lot of gnats, you know. And so I just put it in the fridge and let it go and let it kind of turn into what they call a hooch. I just let it turn to hooch, and then I dug it. Well, and I had that one. I had the starter that I found in the garage from back when I was doing that stuff that had dehydrated, and I rehydrated it. And that's what this starter is. That's from that dehydrated starter that I forgot in the garage. Oh, I'm still working on that. So I'm still messing with that stuff. I haven't even gotten into I still have like, I think I got a gallon jar or half gallon. I got a half-gallon jar in the fridge that was my original sourdough starter, which was a good starter, but the hooch is laid on top of it, which is the alcohol layer. It's kind of a brown layer, and it's just sitting in there, and I have not even touched that since June. And that should be good up to a year or so. So I hear. That's what they say. Now who they are, I don't know, but they say it. Let me see, I'm gonna go ahead and butter up that bread too. And get that around. But yeah, the sourdough is definitely, and you know, so once I'm doing it, you know, since I've been doing it, I'm just doing it because I'm just playing around with it now to figure out how it all works. And I've been pretty successful. I mean, I'm really looking forward to doing the, oh, I cut that one piece. I cut this piece really thin. Huh, I didn't realize that when I cut it. Oh well. This is gonna be thin, I guess. But yeah, and I'm doing, so I figured out how to do the sourdough, what you call it? Sourdough English muffins, and those were really good. And then I've done the bread, I've done dinner rolls, and tomorrow or the next day will be bagels. And those are for the freezer. So once I have the bagels out of the way, once I figure out all that kind of stuff, I'll be done probably with the sourdough for a little while. For a little while anyway. But yeah, so like I said, tonight, if I can figure out how to do it, tonight might be a subscriber mode. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe now. That's the other reason I wanted to do today's stream, to remind people to subscribe, because that's probably, if I can get that mode to work. I was messing with that. I think I figured it out. So we're going to try a subscriber mode. So if you're not subscribed, if you're out there in the on the interwebs and you want to show up for tonight, please subscribe so you can get in, because that's what I'm trying to learn how. I'm trying to just do other things with the channel, and it kind of gets not really trying to make it like an exclusive thing, but on certain days where you get a lot of spammers and stuff like that, and it's kind of nice to be able to switch over to subscriber mode only. It's always kind of a nice thing. So that's what I'm doing. At least trying to do anyhow. Figure that stuff out. And yeah, so the waffles came out pretty decent. I'm not gonna have any, but I am gonna throw these in the, let them cool down so I can throw them into the freezer here in a little bit. Once they're down to temperature, which they're pretty much down to right now anyway. So yeah. We got some waffles, and we got the beagle right there who's patiently waiting for some bacon. She is patiently waiting, but she's been sitting here. She's like, she smells it. She's like, she's got a front row. She's front row for this. And she did eat all of her food from this morning, so. She's been on a little tear. I don't know what usually it's like I give her a little bit of food in the morning and it sits there almost all day. And then like eventually she'll eat it. But this morning, like I give her a bowl, it's like 7 o'clock, and she's been knocking that out. And then a little bit more in the afternoon, and then I feed her every night at 6 o'clock. And she's been tearing up through all that. So I don't know if it's just winter's coming, and that's what dogs do, but it's what she's doing anyway. Let's see how this bread's looking. Yeah, I could go a little. It could go a little bit more. It's got some more time back there. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe for tonight. That would be fantastic. We're really getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and for a goofy little low budget cast iron cookware channel, 1,000 subscribers is really a good thing. We've jumped up a bunch here the past month. This past month has been October and September have been the biggest months we've ever had here. So if I could keep that going, we keep going on that. That would be absolutely amazing, really. To hit 1,000, and then we can. Just makes the channel better. It doesn't really do much for me, but it does a lot for the channel. So if we can get that taken care of, then nobody has to hear me ask for people to subscribe ever again. Is that your sourdough bread? Looks good. Yeah, that is. Even though I cut that one kind of weird. I got that big piece here, and I got the small piece next to it. But yeah, that's the sourdough bread that I made the other day. What day was that? Monday maybe? I'm trying to think today's Thursday. So yeah, Monday or Tuesday I made that. And that's the first I've cut into it. Because yesterday was taco day. It was taco beer night here yesterday. Yeah, I've never been to a Buc-ee's. We're supposed to be getting a Buc-ee's about an hour from here. They've been saying that for the last 2 winters, that they were going to start breaking ground, which I don't know why they break ground in January here, because it's going to be ridiculously cold to do something like that. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they're supposed to do a Buc-ee's here. Yeah, starting January. It's something to do with the zoning. And where they're putting it is kind of really, I like that little area where they're going to put it, because that has like all the shops and all that kind of stuff. But like that has like where they're like Meijer and Kroger and their Walmarts and their, and it's all their little shop, like all their strip malls are kind of in this one part of Huber Heights. And that's where they're supposedly going to put the Buc-ee's. But it is really, that area is super congested. It's one of those places that really sprang up. Like if you'd have went there 15, 20 years ago, there wasn't anything there hardly. Like as soon as you get out of that area, it's just cornfields. And with that Buc-ee's coming in, I mean, like I said, I've never been to a Buc-ee's, but I know they're enormous. I've watched videos about them, and they're just, man, why is everything cooking so slow? You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's like 50. It was like 58 degrees in my house when I started. But that might have a little bit to do with it. I was kind of wondering the same thing because these burners are up. But the house was really cold. I have yet to turn the heat on here. So like I said, it was 58 in here when I woke up this morning. So that might have been had a little something to do with it, but and I'm in no hurry either. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I don't have anywhere to be today for a change. Yeah, got that going. And it should be really good. It should be fairly delicious. Let that brown just a little bit more. I like doing my bread on that griddle way more than I like doing it in a toaster. Plus that bread doesn't fit in my toaster very well. I gotta always cut it in half to fit it in the toaster. Or you gotta do the whole thing like one side and then toast it and then flip it over and do the other side in the toaster. Because you can see by the size of my hand that you know, that bread's like 9 inches across, easy. So yeah, it's got to be, yeah, because that's a 9-inch griddle. And it's not going anywhere. It's taking up quite a bit of room. There we go. There we are. There we go. Looking good. That's everything. Oh yeah, that was the last comment. I guess I've gotten them all. Yeah, I don't know. Greg Hart, are you going to be able to make 2 nights? Are you going to be able to moderate tonight? I should say. If not, that's okay. I don't mind. Yeah, looking good. That's looking fine. I will take that. Okay, cool. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Indeed, that is nice. I don't know what I'm having to drink with this. I don't want to make any more coffee. I had a couple cups of coffee already, and I'm not feeling like tea today at all, even though something warm to drink. You know what sounded really good was like a nice mulled cider. That sounded really good. I think when I go to the butcher shop today, I'm sure, I would almost be positive to say that they have cider at the butcher shop by now. That's what I might have tonight. I might just get a little bit of cider and do that. So that sounds pretty good as far as like a hot drink goes. Like I said, I'm not feeling tea, and I don't want any more coffee at all. So I think but a nice warm cider would be nice this afternoon. This is definitely that time of the year. That's done. That piece is finished. Move those into the middle. Turn that down just a smidge. I don't need it to cook that fast. I don't want to burn the bacon. Let's see, Buc-ee's have the cleanest tray. Yeah, I've seen that. There's a guy from here, like around Cleveland, that goes all over the place, and he eats like something for, like, he'll go to places and he'll eat that stuff from that place for like, we want to say like all day long. Like he'll just eat and he went to Buc-ee's and he ate there every hour for 24 hours. And he I don't even know if this is like you're allowed to do this, but he went in, he took the camera into the bathroom and shot a video, like just to show how clean it was. And he's like, yeah, you can go in there like at any time and it's that super clean, which is nice. And the other place that's like that, there's a place that I go shopping in Cincinnati called Jungle Gyms, and that's what they brag about too, which is like their big thing. It's like the cleanest bathrooms in any grocery store around, which is kind of cool too. You guys see that little tornado of steam that's going on in the back there? Okay, that's done. Those 3 pieces are done. I'm gonna make 3 more pieces of bacon. There we go. Because that's a pretty big sandwich. That's not going to be. It's not going to be 3 pieces of that bacon's not going to be near enough. Throw a couple more on there. A few more. And once the back burner cools off, then we'll be able to. I'll be able to throw that egg on there. I don't want to throw the egg on there now. It's too hot. There we go. Very good. I'll take that. I'll take that. And I will also wash my hands after touching that bacon. But yeah, tonight's I'm not sure how long tonight's stream will actually be, but it should be a nice long stream, live stream, and then yeah. Let's see. Hey, you got me going crazy with the pumpkin stuff. I already made 3 double batches of muffins. That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I noticed the other day that you were canning your pumpkin. Now, I've never tried to can pumpkin or whatever, but I didn't know if you were canning it or if you were just air sealing it. I was actually gonna ask you that because I saw in your post that you did that you were going that route with it. Because I know that canning pumpkin's kind of difficult if you do it in puree because it's air sealing. Okay. Because yeah, with the see how that toasted up pretty decent. I didn't put a whole lot of butter on the back. That toasted up pretty nice. I'm just doing the one side. I'm just doing the one side of it actually. So yeah. Because there's something about the amount of acid, like it's not very, like they don't recommend canning pumpkin puree because of the lack of acid that's in it. Because like I've watched people can it, and it seems like they, what they do is they chunk it. They chunk the whole pumpkin up, and then they can it like that, and then they, I don't know. Seems kind of different. It seems like kind of a lot of work to do pumpkin puree like that. I just freeze it. I just put it in. I just cook it down, and throw it in the freezer, and it'll last in there for like 6-9 months. I've had it in there longer than that, and never noticed it to go bad. That's for sure. At all. Let me get a little bit of, move the camera over this way slightly. Pull it up. There we go. This direction, because I'm going to put the mayo on there. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything crazy with this sandwich. I'm not going to cheese it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to throw a little mayo on top and call it a done deal. If I can find my mayo. I know I have it. Where is it? Well, that's odd. Oh, there it is. It's in the door. Not in the usual spot. But the beagle's in her usual spot, which is in my way, as per what the beagle does. There we go. See you later today. Yeah, I vacuum seal it and put them in the fridge door. Oh, okay. And I use it in the next few weeks. Oh, okay, roger that. I got you. Yeah, you know, like the canning stuff to me is kind of how sourdough is to me this year. Canning is like my next big venture. So I have learned to water bath can some stuff. Like I did that I water bath canned that one thing, the hot sauce, but that's really acidic, so it didn't, you know, I could do it. I could pull it off with that, but I was trying to see, and I just did that on the wrong side. Well, no, I didn't. Okay, it'll be all right. But But I did see that I have to, doing the pumpkin puree is like not recommended at all. Kind of like this channel is not recommended by any cardiologist or physician who has any common sense. Do not eat the stuff that I make on here, for sure. Yeah, just expensive fridge time. Yeah, that makes 100% sense. Yeah, but like I said, I saw that and I was like, I wonder what he's doing to his. And if you had some insight that that I didn't have, because my amount of research that I do for most things is fairly minimal. Like without even, I mean that's not even a joke. I mean I do minimal amounts of research on whatever it is that I do. 100%, as little as possible, or as little as I'm willing to put into it anyway. Because that's how I kind of avoid the minutia to things. Is I just don't research it that long. I'm like, okay, there's enough to it. It's kind of like when I saw the guy when I was learning about sourdough, and they were talking about, because I'll put, like, when I do yogurt bread and when I do sourdough bread, I put a couple ice cubes in underneath the parchment paper. And I was watching a guy doing, and I'm not going to say the guy's channel, but I was watching him do sourdough, and he literally took a number 8 Lodge cast iron skillet, filled it full of lava rocks, and poured water in there. And I'm like, man, this is just too much. This is way, like my eyes glazed over, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm absolutely done doing any more research about sourdough. That's when I knew that I was just in over my head with that. Let's see. The finest Buc-ee's is in Texas on US 90 between Sanderson and Marathon. Google small Buc-ee's. Okay. I'll Google small Buc-ee's. I don't know how big the one they're putting here is going to be. Because I think, isn't it like they usually have like 50 pumps or something? 50 gas pumps? Isn't that how they roll? There we go. Get her egg back there going. But yeah, I think there's like they have at least, I mean, I know we have a Sheetz near here, and I think they have 25 pumps. And that doesn't seem that big, honestly. Like I go there and it's kind of a nice, it's a nice, for a gas station it's nice, and it has 25, I think it has 25 pumps, 24 or something along those lines, but it doesn't seem to be like that big of a deal. Let's see. If you roast bread with butter, it will taste good. It thinks so. Okay. All right. But yeah, I didn't think 25 pumps was all that big. But Sheetz does have, I will say this, Sheetz has an amazing hamburger. Their hamburgers, watch out, Beagle. The hamburgers at Sheetz are really, really good. Because I saw that they were like ranked. It's kind of like Casey's Pizza, Casey's gas station pizza. I think Casey's gas station pizza is really good. I'm a big fan. I know if you guys follow the channel, you've seen me make the Casey's breakfast pizza a couple times. The sausage gravy one, and then the breakfast bacon and cheese pizza. I've made a couple of those. Casey's breakfast pizza is where it's at, and I like their sausage pizza. I'm not a huge fan of like their pizza with like say a I don't want to say it, like a supreme pizza. It's okay, but there's way better out there. But their breakfast pizza and their sausage only extra cheese is pretty darn good. A lot of it's their dough. I think their dough is really good. And I do see them back there making it. They do make their own dough, which is kind of surprising for a gas station. We have another, like a gas station pizza here called, well, I think it's called Four Brothers. And that's all right, but, you know, it's frozen. It's frozen crust. For gas station pizza, it's okay. It's nothing amazing. That egg came out really good. You guys can see the egg. So there's that. The egg's looking all right. So here's our egg. Throw that on there. And turn that off. And then we'll throw a little bit of bacon on there. At least we'll start with some of this bacon. Drop that on there. I got some mayo on there. Like I said, I'm just not feeling cheese today. Which would be, you know, I know that's kind of unusual for a breakfast sandwich to kind of get it to all stay together, but oh, and I'll give this piece of the Beagle. Beagle, you want a piece of bacon? You can have bacon. Come here, you want to give a spin? She hasn't done a spin on camera in a while. Yeah, butter does make everything better. Can I get a little spin? There you go. Good job, kid. Way to go. Way to come in there. Do one for the team. Everybody loves that. Everybody loves it when the Beagle does a spin. Especially me. Because I taught you how to do it. See, you would, if it wasn't for me, Beagle, you'd be spinless in life. You would be spinless. You wouldn't know how to sit. You wouldn't know how to speak. You wouldn't know how to shake hands. You wouldn't know how to go after the FedEx driver correctly, or the squirrels. I know. You'd miss all the squirrel time that you have. There we go. There's the last of the bacon. Turn that off. Let that cool down. There we go. Put a little bit of salt or chili flakes. I'll let you have that on yours. There's already salt on the bacon and there's salt on the eggs. And yesterday was taco day. I've had enough chili. And I made fire tacos yesterday. My tacos were banging yesterday. I mean, absolutely banging. And you know, it was odd. I didn't put cheese on those either. I didn't put any cheese on the tacos. It was just lettuce, tomato, hot sauce. And there was a lot of heat in the taco filling. And I had I did it with Angus burgers. Man, I did Angus burger yesterday. Boy, that was so good. That was so good. Those tacos, man. And I'm not gonna joke around, boy. The beers, they were a-flowing yesterday. You ever had one of those days where you're just having beers and it's just like, man, you could just do a bottomless glass. You just have the bottomless glass like the whole way through it. And I did. And I did not feel bad about it. And I didn't feel bad this morning. Because I made sure I got a good night's sleep. Went to bed early. Had my dinner early. Went to bed early. Got a lot of sleep. Got feeling pretty good this morning. Let's see. Take it slow, Unc. 11. I don't even know what that means. And I'm definitely not your Unc. Not your Unc. Let me see here. So there we go. Get a little. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. And we'll give this piece of bacon to the dog. Beaks, you want to do some more? You want to do some more tricks? Do some more tricks while we got you here. Got some bacon. Can you sit and speak? There you go. Good job. Way to get in there, killer. 1 egg. Yeah, I'm just doing 1 egg. That's plenty. And a spin. And there's your other piece of bacon. That's plenty of bacon for you. Yep, we'll give this a taste test. And then we'll jump on out of here. And all that. Get something to drink. And what this, grabbed a packet of something with some water. So I was thirsty. That's one thing I have been. I've been super thirsty. Thanks to all the tacos and beer yesterday. Man, it was good. It was really good. These tacos were fantastic. Give this a try. Let's cut this. Let's cut this down. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Gotta break that yolk. Very nice. That bread's great. Wow. That bread is awesome. I gotta share that recipe with you guys. That is I'll have to do a long form video and do the bread recipe, because man, that bread, this is the second time I've done this recipe with this bread and that starter, and man, it is really, really good every single time. It's not overly, how do I want to say it? It's not overly sour, but it's got a nice little tang to it. It's just really good. It's real airy. Wow, that's really good. Yeah, I like that. But anyway, I hope everybody, like I said, please hit subscribe. Hit for tonight's show, which we're going to try and do subscribers only tonight. If I can get that to work. If I can't, then it won't be, but please subscribe and show up tonight at 8 o'clock for 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for tonight's live stream. That's going to be a really good one. We're going to break out a lot of good, cool cast iron for that tonight. And we're going to be making up some good stuff. So I'm going to jump off here and let you guys get back to whatever it is you guys were doing. Yeah, like I said, man, this recipe really works. And there's no cold proof. You kind of go from, let it sit, you mix it up, you do your stretch and folds, and then you let it sit for the day, and then you kind of do you do your shape, let it sit another hour or two, and bang, you're ready to go. So I mean, it takes a while. It's like a 10-hour loaf of bread, but it's definitely worth it. But anyway, I'm gonna jump out of here, and I will see you guys tonight, 8 o'clock. Please show up and say hi to me and the Beagle, and happy trick or treat if you're having trick or treat tonight. All right, see ya.